All right, welcome to Your Time, Your Money, where your time is just as valuable as your money. Matt Tarullo here on the simulcast with my partner, Justin Philippone.
How are you?
In the house, Mr. Justin. It's been a great winter and a great start to January. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about spending habits.
Sure.
We're going to talk about some of the pain that people are dealing with as it comes to not having their spending habits under control.
Correct.
Right? Number one thing plaguing Americans right now is credit card debt. Credit card debt, right? I mean, obviously student loans play a role in that and mortgage payments, interest rates being high and ultimately coming down. But spending habits are a major concern of a lot of our clients. And we just wanted to kind of talk a little bit on a burst session about, first of all, how we're spending. And then second of all, how we can get better at spending.
Yeah, I think one of the main things, too, to remember is that a lot of that stuff you can't really control.
Some of it you can't.
And, there's certain things that you have control over. There's certain things you don't have control over. So spending habits and how you choose to use either discretionary income or how you choose to use extra income, I guess you could say.
You might have money laying around.
Right.
You might have just gotten an inheritance. I mean, maybe you have some extra cash. Well, what do I spend it on? How much should I spend?
Yep.
Right? And I mean, but ultimately right now we live in a subscription world.
Yes.
Right? Everything is subscriptions. Think about it. The way we stream, how we use our phones, our power bills, right? Everything is subscription based.
Yep.
So I've seen a lot of commercials and people have called me and asked me and said, hey, is Rocket Money a good idea?
Yeah.
Right? Should I get on one of those apps to see how many subscriptions I'm actually paying for?
Yeah.
And the answer is maybe.
Yep.
Right? If you are okay giving away your personal information, because I downloaded Rocket Money and I started looking at it, I'm like, man, I don't really want to put in my bank info
Wants
here.
to know a lot of stuff.
Right? I'm nervous that I'm going to get hacked and it's going to be a problem. So I just went through and I itemized, right, on a spreadsheet all my spending, right? What are my TV? What are my phones, right? And I've had one going for a while, but I cleaned it up and I realized, oh my God, I'm spending XYZ dollars on my subscriptions. I need to decrease that.
Sure.
That's too much.
Yes.
And some people don't want to make that choice, but then what happens is at the end of the month, I have a credit card bill.
Yep.
Because I can't afford all the subscriptions. And then, oh, by the way, my car needed to go to the shop.
Yeah.
Now what do I do? Now I'm deeper in the hole. Oh, by the way, my furnace broke.
Snowball effect.
Right? And then, now we're not ahead and now we're behind. We're swiping the credit card. We're calling mom and dad. We're calling our uncle. Hey, we need money. Mm-hmm. We got to get out of this jam. Or even worse, we're borrowing from our 401k.
Correct. Yep.
Right? And we don't want that to happen.
Selling investments.
Right, or the market's down and we're in a pinch and we need to pay off this big bill. Mm-hmm. I have this medical debt. What do I do?
Yep.
Right, so the how here is how I'm spending. A lot of the times is generating these problems. Mm-hmm. Right, and how do most people spend?
They overspend.
Right, they overspend. They spend with a credit card.
Credit card.
And if you look back in our podcast sessions, we have a podcast called Cash is King. Mm-hmm. If you can't manage to pay your credit card to zero,
yes,
then don't use it.
Correct.
Right?
Yep.
And I mean, you probably have had clients call you before. I guess give us your credit card nightmare story. Have you had someone call you with a credit card nightmare story?
Yeah, I mean, I've had situations where individuals, just obviously not to blame people for getting into unfortunate situations, right?
Yeah.
But knowing that a lot of people use it and they view it as extra income.
Right. It's there. I have it. I can use it.
Right. I have a credit limit of
5,000.
5,000,
10,000,
6,000,
right.
Whatever it may be, and they look at that and they go, "Oh well, I want the new PS5 at $700. I don't have $700 in cash.
I want these new kicks.
Yeah, so I don't have $700 in cash, but I can put it on my credit card,
right?
And then I'll just pay it off.
If you're not paying your credit card to zero, it's a little bit of a problem,
right? Especially with interest rates,
because you're carrying a 26% interest
rates ballooned.
Right? And credit cards are making a lot of money. I just looked at the rates for how much money was made by banks and credit cards last year.
Insane.
$50 to $60 billion, right? In fees and interest and late payments, right? So as we talk to our clients and have these conversations, we're always going to be on the forefront of saying, be smart how you spend.
Absolutely.
If you're going to use a credit card, pay it to zero.
Yep.
If you can't pay it to zero, then you probably shouldn't use it.
Yeah, and one of the things too is that a lot of people use credit cards for the benefits and the perks that come.
Oh, I got all these
cards.
points, right? Oh my God, great.
Right? That's fantastic if you're not overpaying for everything that you're buying because you're using it as an extra income, and then that 29% interest that you're paying on the card totally ruins any of the benefit that you would be getting from the points.
I got 10,000 points, but it cost me $4,000 to get them.
Exactly.
Right? The 10,000 points are good for a $100 voucher, but it cost me $7,000 to earn the 10,000 points.
Exactly. So, a lot of people get sucked in.
Yep.
They get sucked in of the lore of what the credit card points do, all these perks, different things that they can get, and then they use the card, right? We're not saying that using
sometimes
a credit card.
Sometimes they have to.
Right? We're not saying
I'm in a jam. I need to use it. Right.
And also, we're not saying not to use it if you can use it properly.
Right. No,
right?
absolutely.
If you can, I use credit cards virtually as the only thing that I use. And
I like using cash only. I hate credit cards
because I use points. Right. My wife and I are flying down to Florida tomorrow. We're leaving tomorrow. We're flying into 50-degree weather down in Florida, so not exactly.
The weather is drunk right now. I'm telling you right now.
but I didn't pay out of pocket for our flights.
Right, and that's credit points. And as long as you're paying your credit card off, that's really the most important thing is that you're not carrying a balance.
Exactly.
Right, but that takes budgeting, that takes thought. I got to be ahead. So if you're the type of person that's struggling right now with spending habits, you need to schedule an appointment with your financial advisor or with us. Right, you can find us at 43 British American Boulevard, Latham, New York 12110. You can also call us at 844-444-YTYM. You can also email us at irontreefinancial@ceterais.com. And then you can also find us online at yourtimeyourmoney.net for your net worth. Again, if you're struggling and you're having early start of the year bad habits build up, make sure to get a hold of us. And as always, it's your time,
your money.
All right, guys, thank you for tuning in to another episode of Your Time, Your Money. We really appreciate it. If you enjoyed today's episode, please feel free to share this with friends, family, coworkers, anyone else that you think might be interested. If you do have questions or topics, you can always email them to irontreefinancial@ceterais.com. Please follow us on LinkedIn, Facebook, Spotify, Google Play, and many other sources that were available. And you can reach us at 844-444-YTYM. And as always, it's your time and your money. Cetera Investors is the marketing name of Cetera Investment Services. Securities and insurance products are offered through Cetera Investment Services, LLC, member FINRA, SIPC. Advisory services are offered through Cetera Investment Advisors, LLC. Cetera is under separate ownership from any other named entity.